Ed Sheeran has endured some tough times over recent years, with the chart-topping star having to deal with the devastating death of his best pal Jamal Edwards and his wife Cherry Seaborn being diagnosed with a tumor 6 months into her second pregnancy. The British singer-songwriter admitted earlier this year how there was a point during the turmoil where he didn't want to live anymore amid his personal struggles. But the eyes-closed singer, 32, has also had to navigate some tricky incidents in his professional life too, thanks to multiple battles related to the copyright of some of his biggest hit songs. Dad of two Ed cut a solemn figure arriving at Manhattan Federal Court on Tuesday, as he prepares to defend himself against a claim he ripped parts of Marvin Gaye's Let's Get It On to use on his own track. The case, which began on Monday, will determine whether Ed's Thinking Out Loud used parts of the 1973 iconic song. The heirs of the late Ed Townsend, who co-wrote the song with Marvin, claim Ed should share the wealth from his profits of his 2014 track. Ed's trial in New York, where he will testify as a witness, follows the I Don't Care hitmaker being awarded more than £900,000 in legal costs last year after another copyright claim. At a trial in March, Ed and his Shape of You co-writers Snow Patrol's John McDade and producer Stephen McCutcheon faced accusations that their track ripped off a 2015 song by Sami Shakri and Ross O'Donoghue. Sami and Ross alleged that a no-I hook in Shape of You was strikingly similar to a no-wire refrain in their own track and issued a claim for copyright infringement, damages and an account of profits in relation to the alleged infringement. Ed denied the allegations and said he always tried to be completely fair when it comes to crediting collaborators and contributors on his albums. After the 11-day trial in central London, Mr Justice Zaccaroli concluded Ed neither deliberately nor subconsciously copied a phrase for his Shape of You track and made a verdict in favour of Ed and his co-songwriters. The case last year came while Ed was dealing with the heartbreaking loss of his best pal Jamal, who was the son of Loose Women star Brenda Edwards, and his wife Cherry's serious health issues. SBTV founder Jamal's death at the age of 31 in February 2022 came shortly after Ed's wife of 4 years, Cherry Seaborn, was told by doctors while 6 months pregnant that she needed surgery for a tumor that could not take place until after she had given birth to the couple's second child. Following Cherry's diagnosis and Jamal's untimely passing, Ed sought therapy after feeling like "I didn't want to live anymore." He told Rolling Stone, "I felt like I didn't want to live anymore. And I have had that throughout my life. You're under the waves drowning. You're just sort of in this thing. And you can't get out of it. I've always had real lows in my life. But it wasn't really till last year that I actually addressed it." Cherry carried their daughter Jupiter to term and had successful surgery in June. Following his legal victory regarding his Shape of You tune in 2022, Ed spoke with BBC Two's Newsnight, and said he had no other choice but to defend his work in the High Court. "You can get a judgment or you can have a settlement, and, when you know that you're in the right, then you can't settle just out of principle. You can't settle," Ed explained. "Our royalties were frozen and we were given 2 options and we chose the option that was integral to us," he added. The Halifax-born singer, said to be worth more than £147 million, admitted the case had taken an extraordinary strain on both him and his co-writer, and recalled the case being long and unpleasant. Speaking in the same interview, Ed went on to reference another copyright claim against him which he settled out of court in 2017. In April 2017, Ed reached a deal to end a lawsuit for $20 million, £13. 8 meters, over his hit song Photograph, which was alleged to have been copied from a track released by 2010 X Factor winner Matt Cardle. Thomas Leonard and Martin Harrington, the duo wrote the song Amazing, released by Matt in 2011, sued Ed and claimed he was unabashedly taking credit for their work. Details of the settlement were not revealed in court papers, after the case was dismissed following both parties coming to an agreement. Ed explained he settled the case because he was on tour at the time and there was a culture around copyright claims that meant he probably would lose. He mused on Newsnight in 2022 how setting out of court had opened the floodgates for more lawsuits and confessed the case over his track Photograph changed his relationship with the song. "I didn't play Photograph for ages after that. I just stopped playing it. I felt weird about it, it kind of made me feel dirty," Ed admitted on the BBC show last year. The singer went on to recall how he felt he had to defend his songwriting integrity when a claim was launched against him regarding his Shape of You song, saying, "Win or lose, we had to go to court. We had to stand up for what we thought was right. You can get a judgment or you can have a settlement, and, when you know that you're in the right, then you can't settle just out of principle. You can't settle," Ed explained. He added he now films all of his creative writing sessions in order to protect himself from future plagiarism claims, and said his songwriting has been tainted as he's second-guessing himself. Ed is currently in New York dealing with another legal battle over his song Thinking Out Loud, after the estate of the songwriter behind the Let's Get It On launched a copyright claim. The lawsuit was filed in 2017 has finally made it to a trial which is expected to last up to 2 weeks in the Manhattan federal courtroom. Ed is among the witnesses expected to testify. While the jury will hear the recordings of both songs, probably many times, their lyrics are legally insignificant. Jurors are supposed to only consider the raw elements of melody, harmony and rhythm that make up the composition of Let's Get It On, as documented on sheet music filed with the United States Patent and Trademark Office. Ed's attorneys have said the song's undeniable structural symmetry points only to the foundations of popular music. The two songs share versions of a similar and unprotectable chord progression that was freely available to all songwriters, they said in a court filing. Townsend family attorneys meanwhile said in their lawsuit that artists including Boys II Men have performed a number of mashups of the two songs. They also added that Ed himself had mixed the two during his live performances. Do you have a story to sell? Get in touch with us at webcelebs@mirror.co.uk or call us direct 0207 29 33 033.